Ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome back to ETF2L Season 49. We're back here for another Week 3 game at the beginning of Week 4. It's just how it ends up playing out this season a bit so far, but we've got two top teams playing here for a lot of points. This is Witness Gaming looking to prove that even though they stumbled against the Frenchies, they can still be a top team in the game. MANDEM announced themselves to the world by beating Witness in a regular season official, looking to repeat that same success to take us through this as well. We've got Anti-Mation up on the production. Almost has his binds ready, as far as I'm aware, and I've got Ben PL joining me as well. How are we doing?
Doing great, and like you sort of alluded to there, this should be a really great match. Like I have been excited for this whole week. This has been great. I know it's only Tuesday, but since the start of last week, I saw this on week 3. I was like, this is going to be an absolute banger. It's a grudge match of all things, like you mentioned back in season 45, back when they burst onto the scene, man, and their first thing they did was get a 6-0 points victory against Witness. Like, how else can you better introduce yourself? Yes, it fell apart a little bit in playoffs later on for them, but what an opportunity to prove the haters wrong and do it again, perhaps.
Yeah, so this is a slightly different Mandem team. I think that we're used to seeing. They are now playing without Fancy Elf, who I think basically, universally agreed that Fancy is such a large contributor to the success of Mandem. Not having him around leaves us, I think, with a different type of team as well, right? You're certainly much more focused back on the scouts there. Boulder, who's still playing, Inso still on the roster as well. Really strong scout combo. And then we've got Zam sort of subbing in on demo as well. Rons is picking up the rocket launcher once again on Pocket. I think, at least in my mind, Ben, I think individually Rons is a bit of an upgrade from the
Yeah,
soldier they had last season.
yeah, it has actually some good games as well. Actually subbed for them a couple of times last season, particularly early on when Lardox had like less availability, and yeah, has had some really good performances. But yeah, like this is Mandem roster. Yeah, they've changed up, and yeah, they've lost Fancy. But like, I don't know, it's hard to like. I'd be hard pushed to say they've like downgraded in terms of like player quality on the whole. I think it's honestly been looking pretty great for them. But on the other side, it's about the toughest opponent you can ever face. It's Witness. They're back after 3 seasons. They're back in the game, and they announced their arrival back with sort of a bit of a falter against Four Fence in that first week game. So they are looking to prove that they are really here to stay. They had that win last week against Venom Crest, but now like against Mandem, it's another team who are looking to potentially go all the way this season. It's another real test for them, and do you reckon it's like going to be the big motivating factor if they want to prove that they're back to where they were and they can just beat up Mandem again?
Yeah, I think especially as you mentioned, they sort of ended up faltering a little bit through against the Frenchies in week 1. They played two very close maps versus them, and I think it's one of those. It was one of those games where like, yeah, Witness lost, but it wasn't like Witness were playing bad necessarily, right? I think it was really more so like the Frenchies really matching them, coming out and honestly looking like the superior teams a couple times. I think sort of the main point, at least for me, was it sort of teething issues. I think more so for the soldier duo. Obviously, the big change is that yes, Witness are back, but they've got Lucas back on demo, which is very exciting for many reasons. And then of course, Silentes not playing Roma for them, which means that Pappy, for the first time in a really long time, has to play with a different soldier partner. And I think that soldier combo specifically did kind of get outmatched versus the more sort of seasoned combo of Brudgman and Demore. They really, I think for both maps, kind of just outplayed them. Maybe we'll have to see what runs and haunts can do to sort of match that, because it really felt like that was the sort of catalyzer for Witness not being able to convert, especially on the mids. They just kind of got a bit owned by Brudgman and DeWool, to be honest. We'll yeah. I'm interested to see what happens. I think yeah, you have the soldier upgrade for in runs over Lardox, but at least to me, like I think Haunt is a completely like fine player, but Haunt is never gonna be like one of the guys on your team, right? Like I think Haunt as a player now is sort of turned into this very stable roamer who always sort of plays the same roles and does the same like couple of things. But yeah, Ben, I think we need very quick predictions here. They're teasing us with readying up already.
Yeah, they're thinking about it, maybe thinking about not doing it F4 pressed, F4 unpressed. Predictions is tough. Like I, I've got to go with Witness, right? And that's just because I think week 1 we've seen it before. The last when this incident happened with MANDEM back in season 45. That was another week one thing, and it's a typical thing that we've sort of seen a pattern with now with Witness. Their week one jitters are there, but last week against Venom Crest, they looked so damn good. And you look at the players stacked upon this roster; all 6 of those classes are absolutely top of the pecking order in each of their respective positions. I can't bring myself to predict against them, even if there was that one game in week one where things didn't go their favour, and even though MANDEM are on good form, beating Antiside just a couple of weeks ago, I just it has to be Witness for me. I know it's a boring pick, but it has to be.
I think I agree. I think we'll probably see something a bit close to the maps tonight. You're going to be Gullywash and Metalworks, and those kind of lead themselves. At least Gullywash, right, can lead to very snowbally rounds. I think both teams are good enough. If they get a decisive mid victory, they should be able to just run it all the way to last. But I think for me as well, it just kind of has to be Witness, right? I was watching them or casting them even play against Venom Crest last week, and while week one, I think another story for me was that Thomas didn't quite have the sort of cataclysmic game that we're used to seeing against the Frenchies versus Venom Crest. Like both him and Lucas, especially on product, were completely unplayable. It was like I was just watching these guys absolutely rip Venom Crest a new one. And if they're kind of woken up now on a map like Gullywash, where you really can just run the game over if your demo performing really well, like Lucas is, with a team around him that can just set him up, I really do think that it's gonna be such an uphill battle for MANDEM to actually come in and take a win. My opinion, we'll probably see them take at least a few rounds, right? I think it's not like we're.
Oh yeah, for sure. This
I
is
don't
going to be
expect
some
this to be a
crazy.
roll.
No, absolutely not. Like, yeah, the MANDEM team, I expect it could be close. And like we said before, with a map like Gullywash, we even saw it in that game you're alluding to, right? The game started off and within 2 minutes, Venom Crest were a round up just because they had one good mid, surged all the way through, and just capped the enemy last with 28 minutes still on the clock. Like, it can happen, and it does happen. And especially when you've got a combo of a pair of soldiers in Rons and Horns, like they are capable of doing great things, and you can get those advantages. But I think even in open play, like yes, like I don't, I think Witness have got the edge overall. I just think MANDEM they can hold their run. They'll get some chances, but against a team like Witness, you have to take those chances. If there's any attempts into the last, they have to be getting converted every time. Otherwise, I think Witness might be coming home good in this one.
I think this is such a good season for specifically scout combos in Prem,
Mhm.
right? I think you're looking at the Witness scout combo, which obviously is very at this point very experienced, very established, and we saw them absolutely sort of so far. I think I've seen incredibly good games from both Ixie and Tomas, but I think Balder and Inso is another one of those combos where you look at it, and this could be one of the best. Or probably the best scout combo in Europe, but we just got so many of them right now. We got on the Frenchie side, we got QB and Nevo as well. Anti-side have an incredible scout combo, but here we are, BenPL. We're going live, and we'll have to see if this scout combo of MANDEM can match up. Once again, this is week 3, BTF2L season 49. We've got MANDEM trying to take it to Witness Gaming, looking to re-establish their dominance. We're in on mid.
Lucas caught instantly by the bombs, runs and haunts straight in, opening up the batting there onto that all-important blue Witness Gaming demo man. And oh, look at this space taken on the right-hand side. Zam's Boulder, they're looking at Witness completely inside their own elbow. Over on the far side, we've got Hugo taking a fight against Runs, and Runs might be having to jump away from that one, and the recollapse is going to be there. And actually, Uppy getting caught on the flag too. Ixie has gone on a real tear all the way around behind everyone. I thought it was looking grim for a moment in elbow there for Witness, but they managed to battle their way out, and they clean up everyone.
That's such impressive play from Witness, dropping your demo so early on. Super aggressive middle from MANDEM. We saw Witness do this exact play effectively against Venom Crest, but Hugo was just playing so aggressively onto Yak, and Witness were just able to open up the door completely. But here, Witness, even though they're stuck in that elbow for so long, managing to just regroup, find that open kill into Haunts, and they just collapse off of it. Now, big advantage here, because they managed to find June. The Uber's just straight in through balcony here.
Yeah, absolutely. And the pyro they're covering on the shutties. Why not use the balcony instead? As now all the player has got over towards the point, but they've actually dropped Lucas and Ixie in this as Haunts goes underneath the point just to clean up the last scout who's trying to cap, and no cap time coming through. Uber charge used, and honestly, a bit of a disaster of a push there coming in from Witness. The push from launch, but looked like it was a bit of a last minute decision when they saw the pyro, and now look, second point almost completely free. There's 2 soldiers going to try and do something to deny the pressure coming in now from MANDEM, but MANDEM, it looks like it's going to be a pretty free one here, and with Ubercharge advantage too, maybe they can look to go forward on this.
They have an advantage to play with here. They can just look to take this in through choke. Gonna have to do it quite fast. You can see how far back Witness are playing as well. Runs already in through drop down there, but the Uber just popped through. Getting a single kill onto Pappy is a good start. Ixie falling as well. Now 2 frags from this Uber charge is not enough to really attempt to bust through this choke point. Lucas sitting so strong. And this is Runs actually playing quite passively here. Going straight into the enemy side. Horns is in through drop down. The counter Uber's popped. Finds only 1 kill from Runs. Now Horns, solo mission, bombing in here, looking for the collapse. Hugo falling as well, and this is MANDEM completely crushing in onto Witness.
Yeah, those 2 players that died, they were in the mid play, they just weren't in the fight in time, and now they are getting absolutely mopped up. Ixie and Auto, last 2 alive, they are all the way back on their own last, as MANDEM able to cap up mid, able to deny all but one of the forward spawns. Hugo, the only one able to potentially be a nuisance on second, is currently sat in the forward spawn, maybe looking to be a bit of an annoyance, but Horns and Sams are pretty well aware of this possibility, as now MANDEM, they have an advantage to work with in terms of players. At least Ubercharge, not so much. He hasn't been building perfectly through all of this, as she was too busy on keeping the rest of the players alive in that skirmish on mid, but they are perfectly happy with the situation, able to take lobby, and able to start looking forwards.
It's just Hugo being a bit of a nuisance there in forwards, does finally end up taking that back spawn. I'm surprised MANDEM, I think Witness are really fond of going for a super fast sack before the sort of last defense can come all the way up, especially in a situation like this where it is even Ubers, right? You are going to send in a sack at some point. Might as well send in the sack before the pyro is completely up, before the gun is already at level 2. Now, you have to just try to pressure out this engineer, and it gets so difficult. You can see already Witness doing such a good job of collapsing in, 3 players falling, Demo included, and getting that 1 trade kill for Pappy. You take that any day. Now Witness looking to sort of push out of top here.
Looks kind of free as well. There's only a soldier and a scout, and it's a scout that's actually going to be defending the medic up on top of the point. They might be getting trapped in here unless they get a good use out. Auto going very weak there, but knows the numbers perfectly as he is able to take that Uber charge away. Boulder going to run out into the lobby. Uppy going to back out over towards Big Door, and losing their pocket scout and runs too means it might get a little bit dicey here. Now Uppy decides, you know what, I'm going to back up, not going to overstay our welcome here on the second point, as Witness very calm, very collected, and a very nice little take there of second with player advantage to walk forward too.
They're so good at just spotting the tiny advantages that they have, right? Just spotting that is a medic really caught out of position. No one really there to support the medic at all. So Witness just come in, take that trade. Boulder sort of sees an open demo man, runs into lobby to try and get the kill onto Lucas, but Lucas just has so many team members that are ready to support him as well, and that means that now, actually, even Uber's man advantage gone as well. But look at Thomas. He's managed to weasel his way all the way into last. I think this is putting MANDEM a bit in jeopardy. Look at how they're playing. They're sort of playing really far back on the second because Witness know that they can just pressure this out in through Big Door.
Yeah, given Inzo's positioning, I believe they must be aware of this possibility of Thomas getting all the way in behind here. So it's all about whether the impact can come in, what the timings are like. Maybe someone gets tempted to peek back over into lobby and gets caught out by Thomas. It's awkward for both these sides really, but definitely advantage to Witness here. This scout behind can be a real thorn, but it's all about what they decide to do with it. Sending a second scout behind, they won't expect the second one. There's no way.
But this is the thing, right? Now you don't have a scout playing with Auto, so Chomas is just going to rejoin, and Nixie now going up high, and this is a play that's taking a while to set up. Hugo also flirting with the flank. They are just kind of sitting back and spamming. Lucas edging over, but at the moment there appears to be no real sort of sign of collapse, as Witness just slowly trying to sort of bait out a player from MANDEM to overstep ever so slightly, and is now Thomas guiding Auto through, but ends up eating early damage. Pappy falling in choke as well. This fight not going the way that Witness want to at all, so they're going to have to back off in through choke and look at Runs and Boulder. Ready there to meet them on the middle already. Auto dropping solo, has to pop this Uber. It's Uppy popping the Uber as well for the enemy team there, and Uber trade comes across in choke. Everyone kind of gets flashed everywhere. Kills coming across, but no real advantages to be found so far. It is just Hugo up top. They have to use this play as a bit of a distraction. Lucas is just barreling forwards, though. That's a kill onto Boulder. Thomas wants to follow up, and Lucas looks like he's just going to try to solo this whole combo. He finally backs off. That was a bit scary.
That was fabulous work by Lucas and Thomas in that Uber. That Uber like had no right at all from Witness to be as good as it was, but they managed to get into choke, cause a few flashes, and get enough damage for that post fight that Witness were still in the game. And now they are very much in the game as they are walking in through Big Door already, trying to get some spam over towards this point before the Uber charges are up. They've got Ixie going in behind, potentially en route for a 1v1 against Inzo. No, Inzo decides to back up towards the point, maybe getting caught out though. No, just about lives. A bit of a scary moment there from Inzo.
It's Hugo up on top now as well to support Ixie, but they're taking so much damage and they don't have a medic available to them to heal. It's Witness playing this. They really like this position. Apparently now Boulder going in. Almost falls there. They're actually so low, both of them, but they just managed to get that kill onto Hugo. Now Ixie has to run for his life. And the positioning for Witness, it's so weird, right? You're just stuck in big door here. Happy one-man holding choke. I think the moment that the sort of MANDEM realized that there is just like effectively a free kill onto Pappy, this entire hold kind of collapses. They spend so long getting that kill onto Ixie that it allows Witness actually get up all their players, sitting back on middle now. I think they're going to be completely fine. MANDEM are not looking to push this. 2 minutes left on the round timer, and so far MANDEM haven't really found a way to get in onto mid at all.
Yeah, like you say, it took a while to find those players behind. They also involved 3 players going back into the lobby to clean up that stray scout of Ixie. So even when they do get the kill and there's 2 players down for a moment for Witness, there's no time to get your players into position to start pushing forward into these tight little choke points on Gullywash seconds. So again, we are back to where we have been now for the past 3.5 minutes, just sat here, even Ubers. Witness again trying to pressure their way in through big door, trying to get players behind. They've got Ixie above, they've got Book in lobby, but we've been here before. How are they going to change it up?
It's a lot of early damage here onto Haunts, as now they're playing this so much more aggressive, right? But it's such a difficult corner to turn. Look at Auto dropped so low there from the spam, and I think now Inso Haunts are sort of flirting with the idea of going through choke, but Pappy, really nice rockets to deter them from pushing him any further. That allows Hugo to just sit back in a lobby here, relatively uncontested. Look at the spam he's able to get across onto Upi, and that's going to prompt Thomas to go in. I think they're looking for some kind of a trade here, taking so long, and it's Ixie with a kill up top onto Inso as well before the fights even start. Uber trade coming across here onto Horns, who just has the levitate around up top, and Upi kind of caught behind point here. The rest of Witness are coming in, and the collapse finally is successful here. MANDEM caught out of nowhere. Witness are just pressuring them into oblivion.
That fight up top was a massive one to win onto Inzo there. The scout frag going the way of Ixie just opens things up completely. It means there's no safe route out up through water, and this is going to be the first round on the board for Witness. It's the easiest way to push the last point. You just wipe the enemy team on second, and they do precisely that. There is no escape. They're caught on top of the point. Uber Chargers traded out. Uppy is never getting out there. And really, really good conversion for Witness. It took a while to get there, but eventually they just found the confidence, just walk in, milk it really far through big door and get a really good Uber out onto Boulder.
I think that I was looking at this push and I was wondering, like, okay, like what does this do that sort of pushing in normally wouldn't do, right? But it really is just, as you're saying, blocking off Upi from trying to get out. Back onto middle now. Here's one round up for Witness, already 10 minutes gone from the clock, but Hugo just eats it at the beginning of this mid, and now there is actually no presence at all for Witness. Lucas falling as well, and you can see them just running for the hills here. No presence at all. One Pappy in through drop down. He's going to go for something.
Yeah, thinking about it, there's still 2 friends here waiting, and yeah, the scout class bombing it. There is absolutely no way that's going to be working out. Good attempt, I like it, but bit of a risky one, especially when Demoman is not yet spawned up. Pappy can be one less spam class able to try and hold these doorways, because now, like you said, the opportunity is when the gun isn't built, when the players haven't spawned in and got their buffs yet. There is potential to go for something early, and maybe MANDEM are going to look for it. Maybe they're going to try and get in with a pyro. It's so damn difficult. It's so hard. It's reflecting everything.
Lucas is playing this lobby so aggressively, running out without any support at all, just to try and eke out that extra spam. He knows pressure is necessary. Inso wants to play in through lower, but just gets completely caught out. This is Haunts as well, stuck in lower, and Witness out of nowhere. 2 free kills, even Ubers, and I think they might be looking to pressure this a little bit. Lucas at least is playing this a bit aggressive, get some sticks up on lower.
We've been here before, but this is exactly what happened previously. I think last time it was a 3-for-1 that got them out of their own last, but again, like, before MANDEM could even get into position on the sniper, Thomas peeking in, going for the big shot. It seems like Uppy's aware of the possibility. Yeah, Ron's calling it out. I thought for a moment there that there could have been a grave danger towards the MANDEM medic, but not to be. But like I was saying, it's how we saw before, right? Is they haven't even got into a position where they can sack. They're sort of just they're getting spammed out and getting caught, especially in River. Like Puck's been doing such a great job, and seeing it again, just a bit of spam put towards it. As Witness get themselves back bunkered in. Level 3 gun, they've got a pyro, they've got everything you could possibly dream of.
It's now all up to MANDEM to try and break this last hold, and they're doing so by trying to just send in Inso in through water here. Haunts trying to join him as well, but that is a very aggressive Lucas. Pyro now forced to work overtime as Rons is really pressuring the shutters here, and Tomash actually falling quite low, but it's a kill onto Haunts, and that means So backs off, at least for now. Ron's quite weak. You're just holding back a bit. One soldier down means that MANDEM are a bit careful. Don't want Witness to go for any sort of major plays, but this is the slowdown I think that Witness are more than happy to get, right? You're up around already. This is where K just hold forever. MANDEM really, so far, they've tried this one angle, trying to send a scout in through lower. It seems like, at least at this point, the sort of standard operation within Prem.
Hugo seems to have it unlocked though, just waits. As soon as you see the scout cross, lower onto the ring, and this, like when there's a soldier in the ring, it's just basically impossible to get in of that little narrow staircase, the back of point. Like yes, there is always the threat of the back cap potentially coming through, but it's so damn tough when there's a soldier locking it out. And now attention have turned all the way over towards this shutter as Lucas is getting juggled and bounced around all over the place, down to actually 10 HP before getting an arrow. And Rons dies, going to ease the pressure for a moment. Lucas, if he'd fallen, maybe it could have gone huge.
Zoe spots a bit of an angle there onto point, ends up playing it a bit aggressively, but ends up just falling now. She plays down here for the side of MANDEM. I don't think they have to back up that much. I'm interested to see if Zoe fancies himself a bit of a snipe here. So 2 minutes still to work with. It is enough time to try and get a sniper play off. I'm a bit more skeptical of the spy play. Looks like he's just spawning on scout. They have 2 minutes here, Ben. Nothing's really worked for them so far. How do you break this?
I don't know. It's a tough one to ask because there is literally everything at this point set up. There's Lucas playing very aggressively. There's all this spam on the shutter. They're trying to get players underneath just to try and distract one of the soldiers back. But Thomas on Pyro is just reflecting everything. It can feel like a brick wall when you're just sat in this position, and it's completely understandable because every single door feels like it's locked out completely. So I guess water is the main avenue of attack, possibly maybe trying to get some spam onto Lucas just to force him away from constantly replenishing these sticks over towards the shutter. It's a rough ask.
Yeah, I mean, I think contrary to what we saw last week against Venom Crest for Witness, they did such a good job of taking down that gun before they went in for a push. This time around, though, Pyro out of Tomas, so successful, denying this sentry gun spam. It's just Inso gets to play through water for most of this, but we can just continue to find these singular soldier picks from MANDEM, and now another minute has been run down on the clock. Still no real answer from MANDEM whatsoever. I think we're nearing the territory of give this another 30 seconds. They're just going to have to go for the YOLO trade and just try to take the Uber, but then again, you need to take the Uber and win a post fight, right? The enemy team has an Uber as well. See Witness regrouping already. 45 seconds here left on the clock before we just reset the round, go back to middle, and
they have a Pyro though on Inzo.
Ooh.
Is this what I think it's going to be? Is this hot water? Is this what they're going for? If they do, and it works, this is amazing. If not, it might be a little bit embarrassing. But they are taking the beam down into the water. Inzo the one to take point with the Uber Charge, with the Pyro, with the Air Blast. Going to push up. Uber Charge not quite used yet. Maybe going to happen in the moment. Thomas there to block. Soldier coming in over onto Auto. Auto gets forced out first. Uppy has not used behind the point. Finally used it on the Pyro. And look at all the attention it's drawing. It's now down. So the rest of these fights, can the rest of the players get in? Can Boulder, can Zams get in to try and get on this point? Inzo blocking everyone off. Air Blasting off. There's a Pyro on the point. The Pyro cannot be dislodged until everyone dives back. 5 players bombing the point now. Ron's trying to get in for this last lick of cap time, but Witness Gaming, they are going to hold strong just about.
That was absolutely terrifying there. There's one Haunt trying to do his best to get there onto the last point in time, but I think that's it. Round timer clocks out. That was so...
I thought that was flipping. I thought that had happened.
So close. They get so much cap time as well, but it's just those final little frags. Lucas with a couple of absolutely crucial pipes, getting a health down low onto MANDEM, not quite finding positioning in time, but that starts. We're talking about it earlier, right? It's a really early pick onto the sentry gun from Haunt there, getting that kill on the gun before the push even starts. It gives them so much more room to work with there, but just not quite enough. Now we're back onto middle, still 1-0 for Witness.
And still Lucas taking a lot of damage at the start as well, so perhaps it's going to be more of the aggression coming out from MANDEM, getting bombed in already. Haunt getting 1 and actually 2 frags coming through. There's going to be a bit of pressure over towards Choke there from Pappy, but that's all we're going to find. And again, once more, MANDEM just have these mid-fights on absolute lock and key, and now they're even wanting to go one further. Inzo's running, got the kill onto the scout. Auto last alive and last one to fall. It's a 6-man wipe on the mid. MANDEM might be back in this game.
It's a story that we saw against the Frenchies. Witness, unsuccessful on these middles so far, not having a positive win rate. And now, with Auto dying so so late. This is the golden opportunity here for MANDEM, right? You can see them. They need to get this middle cap in, so getting that down as well. The rest of the team already on second, but we need to see some kind of round conversion here. This is your golden opportunity to tie this up. 13 minutes left on the clock. It's a level 3 being built by Ixie as fast as he can. Thomas is up on the pyro as well, but we're seeing this push. It's looking to just come in through River. Zams and Boulder all ready as we're just sending everyone we can through River.
And everybody's getting stopped for the moment by Thomas, who finally goes down, but a lot of this overcharge has been used, just taking down that one pyro. Gun still up, finally taken out, as now Haunts up through underneath. Actually gets a lot of damage into Puck, who is just about living. Actually gets out to the resupply lockers, and this push is collapsing at the seams. What an opportunity missed this is going to be. Haunts finally falling too. Just Zams and Upi running out all the way onto second. And I mentioned in the pre-game, right, like against a team like Witness, you have to make those count. You get so few of those opportunities against one of the world's best teams. You have to convert them, but the one pyro from Thomas just buys so much of the Uber, and after that, everyone wins their fights in the blue. So great hold, and they are looking to move forward even further. Inza taken down, the submarine push comes through, and Auto now with an Uber charge, but not an advantage because Upi got out alive and will have in about another 5 more seconds.
But it's 2 kills here for Witness, and so they are just playing so aggressively, taking control of second already as they don't even go for the cap. They know they just need to continue rolling this in before this push is set up, but it's Thomas falling already. Now Pappy going forwards as well, but this is a heavy up for Inso here. Getting the kill onto Roms is all that they're going to get for now, but they're staying in lobby. They've taken a lot of ground already. Haunts just has the bomb through on River, dissuade Witness from going in any further. There's just no sentry gun up on last. I think Witness, they love themselves a bit of a pressure cook here. And this is a heavy up, not a sentry gun, and that means that Ixie is going all the way down into water already. It's actually unguarded. There's no stickies on this point.
Bit of captain coming through, and the bomb in from Hugo as well. He's going to buy a bunch of time for this point, and the kill onto Zams as well with the final rocket. There is definitely time for this pressure cook to continue runs. Really crucial kill there onto Pappy is going to keep things alive for just a little bit longer, and the force finally comes out though onto Upi, and it was dicey, it was rough, and yes, they held onto the point, but at what cost? Losing so many players and finally getting the Uber charge forced out of Upi.
I think this is one of the reasons, right, why Witness are the scariest team in Europe, at least for me, right? They are so good at playing at these tiny advantages, right? That's 1 kill onto runs. You have the pyro up and you have an Uber. You think that's completely fine, but they just manage to find a way. There's no stickies on that point. Zams is not up, and that converts into a massive Uber advantage push coming in for Witness here. Pyro's still up. Zams is in playing through lower. No further kills have been found as one onto Haunts, but that's a heavy kill. Playing it through water, completely catching Witness with their pants down, who popped this Uber and just stuck on last. Heroics from Lucas not available. And MANDEM, they managed to just barely hold on here.
Rons and Inzo there on the flank up through water and into river dropped an absolute nuke. They got 3 kills just like, between the two of them. It was massive, and it meant that the rest of the reinforcements couldn't get in time after the Uber charge. Really great collapse there from the flank, including the heavy as well, may be added. And now Upi earned herself a decent chunk of an advantage. We have been here before. We had a bit of a flip-flop earlier on in the game. The push through choke was good last time, and again, this time they've actually snuck in Haunts underneath. The threat of coming up from under is there, but Zams going down. Is that going to put the brakes on for a moment?
The spam from Witness here is actually really, really strong. Very difficult for them to come through. It's just Hugo playing this so aggressively in choke. It's now Ixie taking 1v1 with Inso here on the flank. No one really hitting anything.
Pappy.
But this is Pappy bombing in onto Upi, who just barely decides not to pop it. It's even Uber's now. But we lost a player there. It's ultimately Inso walking away with that 1v1 victory, and that gives now MANDEM free reign over middle. They have a bunch of players to pick with, to work with here as well, right? They're already in through big door, Inso in the lobby, and this is Lucas dropping down really low. You have to take this trade. Witness, no players really here at all. It's high ground coming in from MANDEM as Hugo has to jump back, but there's just no health bars. Instead, it's 3 members of Witness stuck here in no man's land. The bomb comes in onto Auto, falling. The rest of Witness not able to find any frags. It's just Ixie Pappy trying to hold on, and they are not finding the frags. Instead, MANDEM, massive advantage here, taking this cap. Players will not be up, and they have to just send this into the last.
Yeah, really fantastic post-fight there coming through for MANDEM, and they might be reaping rewards for it now as they're getting players onto the point, stacking it up as best as they can, but Lucas and Ixie getting 3 between them. Last soldier to bomb in, does not manage to do it despite getting 2 frags. How the hell do they hold that? I actually have no clue.
That is pure aura that Witness hold on with there. That was disgusting from the demo and the scout at Ixie Lucas combining for all 6 frags. MANDEM, they know exactly what they need to do, right? Just sending them to the point, but the spawner's just barely there in time, and Lucas just hits everything now. Sticky's on mid here. It's going to dissuade Pappy from bombing across. He actually drops really low. There's a real space to take, and I think for now, at least Witness, they can't go through. Sniper up for Inso as well. This is a big advantage for Auto. Witness are not going to be keen to sit on this advantage. They need to find a different angle. Looking to rotate over to Big Door, I think.
Yeah, against the sniper, it's limited options trying to push in as they do decide to bomb in very aggressive, but Lucas actually missing the jump up. He's going to slow things down slightly. Yeah, no one caught the face plant there into the floor. And there was no one getting cut off in the choke. But again, it's a point taken for an Uber. Like with a round up, you're kind of happy to if he gets into flip-flop territory. But the flop might be coming fairly fast because now we've had the Inso snipers walk back to spawn, change back over onto Scout as now Uppy and Co are getting ready to use this Uber straight in through choke.
And they're getting ready. Already 2 players sitting in Big Door as well to support that team. And that is a very aggressive demo man coming in. They're going to get the early kill onto Pappy, but the rest of Witness do a pretty nice job of scattering, getting back out onto middle. And I think we might be in for a bit of Uber seesaw here. As now the Uber pops in. Only 1 kill onto Pappy is completely fine for Witness. They do get the cap. Pappy, I don't think, minds that too much. Instead, now Auto 90%. Witness looking to already take this in through Big Door. They're looking for the counter push. Holtz is in the bush, and Tomas does not fall for that play at whatsoever. As now we're popping in early damage here onto Zams as well. Needs to get both, but that's a really big pipe onto Uppy as well. It has to just run out, and Witness for free are taking second with the health bars on MANDEM. They're going to keep this rolling onto second here.
Still 30 ad as well, they may as well keep going, and yeah, MANDEM, they have to keep retreating. They know what the game is like, they know they cannot afford to get caught in an Uber charge situation, but Luffy is still another 15% away from Uber. So yeah, back onto last, and 6 minutes left. This is dire straits now for the team of MANDEM, right? 5 minutes in the round timer, they could theoretically be locked out here to the end of the game if that's what Witness decide to do, and you never know, they might well decide to do it. For now, though, they are keen on pushing forward as far as they can, trying to take some space into lobby, and why not?
Oh, this is really nice, actually. Getting 2 frags here. Kill onto Tomas, onto Lucas, on to Hugo as well. This is 3 frags for MANDEM, and they managed to get themselves back onto second. Uber not pop for Auto, but they do not want any business with this fight at all. They didn't even get that second capture, actually, Benpol, as we do just instead find ourselves kind of back where we started. It's even Ubers now, and as you're saying, Witness can't just hold this.
That, I think, was when I said they could push up and you know, maybe have a go for it. I didn't mean, you know, cap second, play it slow, whatever, because that was a bit overzealous, I think. Remember, there was 6 minutes left in the round timer. If they just cap second and just chill, they win the game. But now they've walked aggressive. They tried to push their small advantage, and losing 3 players has meant now midpoint has actually gone the way of MANDEM. So yes, 5 minutes left to play. There is time on the clock, and yes, Witness can hold it and they can turtle it, but turtling your own second, although it's a tough nut to crack, it's much more difficult than if you're turtling in enemy lobby or on enemy second.
Decent little opening frag there onto Haunts, getting a bit aggressive in through Big Door. We're gonna see how that prompts Witness and try and move in, right? You have this big advantage, at least try to send in a counter sack of your own, but it's actually so difficult going on to Gully mid. There's not really much of an angle. Pappy at least flirts with the idea of going in through choke, but just meets Balder on the other side, and that's a fully buffed scout that you do not want to bomb in against. Pappy already done that once this game. So instead, we're just gonna sit back for now, and this is very much ball in MANDEM's court. They have 4 minutes now to try and figure something out. They need a round conversion here. They want to stay in on map number 1. Witness can just fully run down the clock here and run away with the 1-0 map victory. It's pipes coming in here. Lucas doing such a good job of locking down Big Door.
It's outrageous, isn't it? The guy just does not miss. It's just massive numbers must be appearing on that screen from the Lucas POV. And but eventually is forced away, at least for a moment, and at least for long enough for Inzo and Horns to get in behind and potentially look up for this fight onto Puck. That might be where all the action is about to go down. We've got the same situations we had in the complete mirror before. We've got Runs just holding choke for now. The rest of the team trying to pressure Big Door, try and get some damage. Can they land a good pipe onto Auto? Can they land some stickies towards the combo that disrupt things over from Zams? For the moment, Haunts in, so they're just poking, they're just patrolling the area, maybe waiting for a moment to get in.
It's Ixie and Pappy here recognizing that Rons is the only one holding up top there. Inso wants to go in for that Hugo frag, does not find it either, and the push comes in from Witness, forcing Rons back there and then managing to pounce off of those 2 kills now onto Inso, onto Haunt. We've got a couple players here to work with. It's Zams setting up Stickies and Victor, and that's Pappy playing very aggressively in choke. There's not a scout playing with Upi here. It's a bit scary.
A little bit. They're coming up with a sniper as well, so potentially this is like the one last roll of the dice. Witness, like they've been burned once after what happened in lobbies. They're maybe not too keen on the idea of like kind of barreling off a 2-player advantage into mid and it all going wrong. But the price they pay for that is they have allowed the sniper spawner to come up, so all eyes on the server turn to Inzo. The peek comes in, the first shot will be the surprise one, but it seems like Lucas is very aware of it already. Perhaps a dot has been spotted as Inzo peeks in, maybe catches, oh, does not quite catch a look there onto Lucas.
Oh my god!
What?
This guy is... Oh my god! He just solos the whole team and Big Dog from nothing! The Uber's coming out here as well, because look at the HP on the red side. Lucas, he just found something there. Hitting absolutely everything. This fight now on middle, absolute disaster as well. Hugo playing on top, ready for anyone to try and flank in. But that is just Lucas, uncontested. He keeps it going as well, supported by Ixie once again. MANDEM forced in on their own second. That is Witness in a nutshell. As Lucas, he is like so, oh my, he's so bad, Ben.
What do you do against that? Like, actually, what is the counterplay to that? Is there anything? Like, I don't know, I'd love to say, oh, he should do this, should do that. If someone pops off like this, actually just, you know, it's hopeless. It's absolutely hopeless. Like, it must feel so awful coming up against this. It must be absolutely brutal for Lucas. Absolutely back in the saddle, back in the game. The gang back together and they're rolling on forward once more. Might be making it 2-0 at this rate because they have a big Uber advantage. They've got players up. They're taking lobby. 1 minute left to play. 0 risk at all now for Witness. They are just playing for pride. And why not? Because Lucas has gone on a tear. Also, Ixie in the midst of that also went on a bit of a tear with Uber charge. Oh, maybe not going for a tear for Lucas this time.
Yeah, that's the power of the Casa curse right there.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's the sign. We've been in the game for a while, right? You can kill any player with your mind if you put your mind to it as a cast. You just have to sing their praises for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think for Lucas especially, this was so brilliant to see.
Cap?
We were, oh my god, he's just in behind. No.
Yeah, back cap.
Oh my god. What a way to finish that map as well. It was so close for so long, but then in the end, it's Witness coming out and just showing that they just are just a bit better right now. Really just outthinking them in the final seconds as well. I want to go back to my point with Lucas, because we've seen him. He's been playing for a bit over a year now as well, right, Ben? But he hasn't, at least for me, like Lucas has been there, and we've seen glimpses of who Lucas was back when he was like uncontested best player in Europe for like 3 seasons in a row. I think we might be seeing sort of a bit more of the return of Lucas, who just sends it off at the very end, right before the round timer. Nice little air shot onto Ron to the mid.
But it was off. Yeah. It's the thing is, like, it wasn't even just like isolated moment. There was like so much like consistent output. Like that play on last as well. Remember when it was it like 6v3 and like just kills 3 players in the blink of an eye. Like every single pipe, every single sticky is just doing maximum damage, and like it's just beautiful to watch. It's absolutely fantastic.
In an otherwise super low scoring game, it's Lucas just sitting on top of the meters there, pretty much outfragging everyone bar his own teammate in Ixie, but the damage difference is just insane. Look at these logs. It's so crazy here for the side of Lucas there, just absolutely coming alive. Witness looking so strong. Ixie right there as well. I think a team like Witness, right? It's so easy for us to sit and just sing the praises of a guy like Thomas, but Ixie just right there alongside. Yeah, I mean, just absolutely beautiful for Witness. So I do hear some production typing. I don't know, like guys, you know what I can do just for you? So I can copy paste these logs right in the chat. Hopefully Nightbot doesn't time me out. There we go. And you can all trust me when I say that Lucas did big damn. Now, I think for MANDEM, right? Like you're sitting and you're kind of you're wondering like what else can you really do? Those are not the right logs, guys. There we go. We got them up. It's a 2-0 in the end, right, as well, because Pappy got to that final little back cap. But just yeah, I mean, you see these guys at the top of the scoreboard. The damage dealt from Lucas in what is otherwise like a pretty it's a low scoring game, but Lucas is just always in position to spam. And I think for me, I think the story is kind of like MANDEM is a team that is used to having a very, very dominant demo man now coming up against what feels like in some way just an even force in Lucas, and they do not they don't contest.
Yeah, it's weird because yes, they like it was 1-0, but like at the end of the day, like yes, like obviously Lucas popped off, and of course we had some great plays, particularly in the scouts as well over on Witness. But on another day, this result I think could have been very different, right? Like look at the opportunities that were squandered by Mandem throughout that game. There was the hot water play where it looked like it was going to come through good. There was the time when there was the Uber ad push which failed, and there was like the big collapse into point afterwards. There was a couple of moments, and I've driven home multiple times at this point. Like you have to be making those count. So I think we can talk about logs and such all day long, but I think in games like this, it comes down to moments.
Yeah, it's but also like you just kind of have to focus a bit on the sort of the good sides now for Mandem, right? This
Oh, of
was
course.
for what it was worth, pretty close for most of the game, just kind of falling apart at a couple crucial sort of last conversions. They had the opportunity to go all the way in with an Uber advantage and just didn't quite manage to get through Witness star power, just shining through a bit too much. Going into Metalworks now, so we do swap servers. So Rons was complaining a bit, of course. Leave it to the French. They're never satisfied. Unless the server is in their backyard, it's never good enough. On a different server, going on to Metalworks, do you think, Ben, that the Metalworks server change will be enough for Mandem to come out on top here?
Are we talking about Metalworks here or the server change? Because I don't know. I'm a believer that the server thing is placebo, and also to be honest, the more I'm watching of TF2 and particularly at the top level, like when it's like pick bans for maps, like the more I believe, like honestly, maps kind of don't matter a lot of the time. Like
Yeah.
they have like a team picks one map, a team picks another map, whatever. Like, oh, this team should be favored. This is one they picked, and they end up trading picks or whatever. I think obviously like these teams at this level, everyone's got a certain level of competency on every map. Everyone's played these a million times. I think obviously certain maps give certain roles within the team more space to shine, and like Metalworks, I've always sort of seen as a soldier based map, and we're just singing the praises of, for example, runs before the game. Maybe this is one where runs can pop off. I think we've cast a few games like in the last couple of seasons where runs has great performance on Metalworks. Maybe that happens, but I don't know. I'm still thinking. I'm still keeping my prediction from last game if that's what we're pushing towards. I think close game, but Witness still take it because it worked for me last time. I'm just gonna, keep doing what's working.
I think for me, a crucial sort of takeaway from Gullywash is the Witness. While they did ultimately end up winning, right? It was close, and one of the big reasons it was close for that Gullywash map was that Witness just really unable to find their footings in most of those middles, not really winning more than one middle, I believe. At that middle, even that looked kind of like they should have lost it, right? They're in a terrible position for
Well,
most of
looked
that.
elbow,
Now,
weren't they? Yeah.
coming into Metalworks, I think this is a situation where Run's also traditionally, this guy is really, really good at playing Metalworks. I remember one time getting a DM from Pappy after I think it was just even a set of scrims. He was just like, dude, Brudge and Runs on this map, unplayable. So I'm very excited to see if maybe Runs can come a bit back here. I think we need to see a bit more from MANDEM, right? They're just not quite managing to step up. And yeah, it has to be so close, and they have to continue their mid-winning streak. So Witness haven't looked that good on these middles, and I think MANDEM are playing these very aggressively as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like, think about how many times Lucas has been the first to die on these mids because he's constantly got either a scout and a soldier or two soldiers straight in his face at the start of every mid. But on the flip side of things, the rest of the combo, like Upi and Boulder, they're staying alive, they're staying safe, and it's that balance, right? You want to be aggressive, but also still whilst protecting your own team is very, very hard to do on maps like Gullywash. They played it to a T, and I think Metalworks is it can be more of the same. I think we're traditionally used to, at least more recently, seeing slower paced mids on Metalworks, where it's sort of you take your own crate side, you spam across point, and maybe play off a pick, try and take some of the height towards point, and try and squeeze your opponent out. A bit more than Gullywash, which is kind of it's a bit like almost almost becoming like a granary where everyone walks in and everything kind of just explodes. But we'll be seeing that pretty soon because F4 buttons have been pressed on the new server. It's the second map. Witness Gaming 2-0 in that first one, but MANDEM, will they bounce back in map number 2? We are going live mid-fight of the first one for Metalworks. We are going.
Running into mid just takes a bit longer than it does on Gullywash here. I'm sort of excited to see what both of these soldier combos end up doing. As Pappy playing really aggressively early on onto this enemy crate here, putting down spam onto Upi. Zams, just a tiny amount of it already, but that is Witness. Decent control, both players, or both teams rather, just playing the exact same position, mirrored across. It is just early bombs coming in from
Double
now
bomb
out of Hugo, straight onto Upi, actually, who manages to perfectly surf that in onto that pack there, but in the meantime, the rest of Witness collapse onto Zams, and that is destruction on the enemy team, only finding one kill onto Lucas, and this time around, it feels like maybe Witness have found themselves a bit more of a footing there on mid.
Yeah, I've got to say, if I was Upi in this mid, I would be absolutely fuming because she has just hit 2 like amazing surfs that mid and dies anyway late, and he's going to be full disad. But like you said, the double bomb just completely cut the entirety of the MANDEM team apart. The collapse onto Zams, it was great, it was fantastic. Witness, we criticised their Gullywash mids, but this was a completely different Witness that we saw here, as they've got themselves a full advantage. Upi still hasn't even spawned in. This is more than 100% ad. This is about 120% ad, because Upi has just started building. There's a gun, there's a heavy, and there is already blue Witness Gaming players flying into last.
And Zams up on the lock and load to try and bounce players back, but they get the sentry kill quite early on. Heavy, not in position to hold on to the point, but there are stickies for now. They're finding 2 kills here with Witness onto Haunts as well. Now the spam's coming across the health bars. Just not there for MANDEM. The Heavy not there in time either. That is a point captured very fast and very efficiently for Witness, who are looking alive here on map number 2.
That's the thing, is that the Witness, like, typically, we saw it happen once last map, but, like, it's very rare for them to mess things like that up, especially when there's not much time to get buffs, there's not much time to get the gun built and things like that. It's really, really tough to get a last hold set up, but particularly teams like Witness, they don't typically make 2 big blunders there. As another good mid-fight, and another big bit of aggression potentially, as actually Zams has taken a lot already at the start of this mid. He's going to be forced all the way back into the house. This might be a rough start now for MANDEM.
It's Rons with a bit of pressure alleviating, bombing onto Auto there. Haunts manages to come in behind and sneak that kill onto Auto now as well, as Upi has to keep herself alive here. There's still a couple Witness players up, and they are thirsting for blood here, as it is a bomb coming in from Happy. Really nice spam there onto Rons, who does drop quite low, but Tomas is stuck on the low ground, has to play the land shot, just 2-shotting Boulder, but not quite finding anything more. It's so much early pressure for Witness, right? But just a bomb in from Rons, followed up by Haunts as well. Auto has to stuff back from the rest of his team, and that's Witness. They lose another mid. They're down a massive advantage here as well.
Yeah, they are going to try and maybe fight something on second here, which is very, very confident from them. They've got stickies up by Lucas here, trying to bait players in perhaps, but second point, I believe, will be flipping it towards the red rather shortly. It's about sticks get detted, no one get caught in that one. So now, first obstacle cleared, the next one, the all-important one. We've seen them falter at this point before. There has been time for some building. There is a timer on this push, Auto 70%. It has to come in, it has to be fast, it has to be aggressive. As Ubercharge comes in, they're looking to get players to the point already.
Sentry Gun still about half HP, does a decent job of denying that soldier bombing across actually, but it is MANDEM finding a few kills here. Now Lucas playing this so far forward, as we have been seeing, but that's just a clean bomb from Rons there coming in, 2-shotting him, but they haven't found the Sentry Gun pick at all, and they just barely managed to stay alive in time. It's just engineer solo, and Tomas actually fancies himself a bit of a kill here with the pistol out, walking forward onto Zams. He's pushing him.
He's actually going for it with the pistol, with the shotgun. Oh dear me. There's no way you live this, Thomas. Yeah, okay, that was kind of had that one coming, I've got to say, as Haunts bombs in, gets the kill. But honestly, the engineer Uber, like, that Uber came in just in time. I can't remember who it was, but there's a low HP player just getting picked up as that Uber charge came up and leaving that awkward 2v2. It's actually really important there that Zam stays alive though, because now no engineer means this gun's getting no healing and Hugo going down too. There is actually great opportunity here for some pressure. Haunts goes in, doesn't quite get the kill on the gun and gets piped down by Lucas. Never mind, maybe it's not looking at too great after all. 2 picks for 2, pressure still ongoing, and Uber charge getting used. Auto actually doesn't have yet, never mind. Maybe this could turn.
There's no one really alive here for Witness. They just barely get the spawners in time. Now Zams just has to find the pipe, but unfortunately not quite finding them. It's just a singular kill there onto Hugo, but Auto with a bow there onto his medic compatriot. They managed to hold on. Big advantage here as well. Horns plays quite aggressively. He's going to bump forward to take the 1v1 with Ixie, but just not healthy enough. Lucas there to support his teammate, and Witness are just barely holding on there. That was such a scary push. As you said, Thomas pushing forwards is kind of funny, and it is good if they get that kill onto Zams, but instead, Zams stays alive. There's no one really there to take care of that engineer. But no one, there's just no pressure on that gun, right? Now the counter Uber up on mid is going to find a singular kill onto Inso, and if you're a MANDEM, you're breathing a sigh of relief. That's absolutely fine.
Fine-ish. They might face a bit of pressure here on second, but what I like actually from that Uber charge, like obviously gets one kill, gets the mid. It's not like maybe the highest value Uber, but they use that Uber so early. This ad now for Upi is like pretty tiny. It's like 30%. They are going to try and walk it. They're going to try and make it work, but like had they tried to milk that in a bit more with Auto, maybe this would have been a much bigger advantage for MANDEM as they try and walk back through, but they are going to go for it. Auto, 70% Uber charge comes in from MANDEM, trying to get hit, and Ron's gets caught out by Lucas on the way through. It's not looking too great here. Lucas actually caught out that maybe they can scramble something together, but it's all about the Uber charge meter on the bottom left of our screens. Auto nearly there, and he's actually going to get Uber in time.
Auto is now completely there, but it is two players sitting in behind on House there as Horn's actually finding a lot of damage there onto Pappy. You cannot really hold on to this as Inso pressuring him so much here on second. He's just trying to take the 1v2 as Inso just gets that kill onto Pappy. Now, Spawner coming out for Lucas, but he's scared. He doesn't necessarily want much of this Inso now, who is just going to get followed up by Ixie. In the meantime, we're pushing on to second on the enemy side here as well, as Auto's actually popped this Uber into lobby onto Thomas. They're finding one kill onto Runs, but not really anything further here, as Upi does just manage to get out back onto Larson. It's an 80%. Big advantage here for the side of Manda, but they're waiting for two players to come up, and Witness takes so much ground off of that push.
Do you push this? Surely not, right? Surely.
What if you did, though?
If you did,
they're going for it.
It's high. I'm not gonna say it's high. It's possible. It's just very, very high risk. It can be a dangerous one. They have so much advantage, it's maybe worth going for. But look at this collapse already from Hugo. Ixie already trying to get in behind, trying to threaten this back cap. Thomas and Pappy as well, threatening into lobby. And look at how much time this has bought. Auto already at 65% Uber. Like this ad is TikToking away, and yeah, I think he's gonna have time for this now.
It's Ront in through lower though, get some decent spam here. I think the worry here for Witness mainly is just when the post super happens, are you in position at all on second to actually take this fight? As this is 95% here for Auto, as it just bomb comes in from Hugo. Ubi just barely decides not to pop the Uber, milking it to just oblivion there. Managing to hold on is so low. My god.
Milking that is actually obscene. Like, who milks that? Who doesn't right click there? That is crazy. Crazy nerves there from Upi, but great decision making in the split second. Fantastic work.
I mean, Witness, right? They're looking to take that trade, right? Get that Uber forced out, then they're coming through house, but instead it's just Upi upending all of it by just deciding that she will not pop that Uber. So scary. Drops down to about 20%. And now I think we're going into a bit of a classic Metalworks situation where both teams are kind of sitting in and around alley. It's Runs with a very deep double bomb there. Comes in, but doesn't really find any frags. Now it's on to Witness. They are going to buff up their soldier. Now the bomb's coming through in from Pappy, who just wants to bomb across, make a bit of space, but in-house in the meantime, Horns is finding one kill onto Ixie. And this is a bit of a household collapsing. Horns has found his way in behind. Inso, quite aggressive onto Thomas.
Big bomb!
The bomb from Horns. He's just going to get the Uber forced out.
And lives, somehow. I don't quite know how that's allowed to happen. Force finally comes out onto Ubi, but it's the cost of 3 frags for Witness. Horns there, having an absolutely masterful flank play. And Runs cleans up Pappy in the house, finally. So now midpoint will be flipping over towards the red. A couple of forward spawns will come in. Lucas still wanting to fight this. Like, Lucas, like, this guy is on a leash, right? Like, he's just constantly chomping to try and fight, try and do some damage, try and stay in. But for now, MANDEM will be taking hold of the middle point. Spawners coming in for both these sides, and we have completely flipped around now. It's MANDEM's turn to try and sack into Metalworks second.
Yeah, it's 60% for both teams, right? No one really has much of an advantage, but they're both kind of playing as if the other team is right around the corner as well. It's finally Runs and Horn sort of going a bit forwards, at least both playing on each of their own side of house, but they're just going to back off as well. Both teams waiting until they're about the 100%. They could just run this so far into alleyway here, as MANDEM are sort of making their way through Valley as well. Both teams 100%. This is now MANDEM's turn to try and see if they can sack in someone successfully in through alley, maybe in through house as well. It's Inzo playing this quite aggressively here with Zams as well. So far, just setting up the play. Nothing really major happening quite yet. Just gonna buff up Rons. I think there we go. That's a signal to go. No soldier really there to follow up either. It's just Rons coming in on one side, but there we go. Horns with a really nice skip jump straight onto Auto. Unsuccessful though, because there are just stickies from Lucas. But that play took a while to set up. It is not successful. That's a kill on the board for Witness. They don't really look to be responding either.
Yeah, one soldier pick, you can maybe take a bit of space, but a lot of times with this, like, even if you do start taking space, you just take control of house, and then by that point, the soldier's already spawned up, and you kind of have to leave again. So it's sort of understandable off of one soldier, maybe Witness aren't too keen on wanting to push the issue here, but I'll be interested now to see, sort of, with MANDEM, how do they mix things up? They've seen before, right? They've sent the fake soldier in and then sent Horns in for realsies straight afterwards. Onto the second jump. Are they going to go for the same thing again? Or this time, no, Rons doesn't quite manage to make the first jump work. Maybe gonna... You think about going for it again, though? Are we
They're
taking
looking
buffs?
Quite aggressive here in house, right? And it's Horns first time around just ends up hitting a Piper Blue Drop, completely shuts him down, right? But now again, is Ron's trying to sack in, and unfortunately just doesn't find anything. Horns is trying to hold on to help! Zams? Hello?
What?
Auto just ends up dropping their Zams from somewhere. I did not catch that play whatsoever. But Auto drops the Uber to Zams with a pipe, who now, massive advantage here to work with. This completely swings the favor and the tides of this game. Suddenly MANDEM, 100% Uber to work with. You can see Pappy playing this a bit aggressively, but the rest of Witness are all the way back on last already. Ixie getting up that gun. MANDEM, you have a massive advantage. You need to push this fast. It is Thomas up on the sniper. He needs to find a shot and fast because MANDEM are going to be coming for them.
We've seen MANDEM have trouble twice before on this map. These, I've said many times before, these opportunities do not come often. Uber advantage versus Witness, attempt number 3 on Metalworks, in through the left-hand side, Boulder with the Uber charge, running straight behind point, targeting onto Lucas. No more stickies for the rest of this fight, no more gun either, and no more Pappy now, as the players collapsing in towards the point from MANDEM, but they're losing the rest of the frags. Ixie and Tomas going huge. Boulder gonna have to scurry away, and once more the Uber advantage is not enough. MANDEM, they just can't manage to make it work. Boulder falling onto low ground, dies at the hands of Ixie, and another push just falls apart. Witness, how do you take a round off of these guys?
It's just so hard to play, right? I mean, they come in and they have this massive advantage. They find the early frag onto Lucas as well. Looks really good. The sentry gun down. Lucas down as well. No Demo Man, but they just don't have the positioning, right? They lose so many players in that post super 5. Witness so good at catching them off guard, and now they find themselves with a bit of an advantage to work with themselves. There's one soldier bombing in through alley. There's one straight side hit onto Otto, who cannot keep the Uber. Horns eliminates it, and once again, it's disaster for Witness. What a bomb!
They have to make it work this time, surely. Surely this time, right? They don't. Witness don't manage to hang on for the 4th time in a row. There's no way. I've never seen that happen before. Like, there's no way it can happen. Again, I feel like we've been here. I'm getting some deja vu. We've been here just moments ago. Auto dropping once more in the Death Valley behind the back of the house. They're taking space in towards lobby. Runs guys to traps all the way through from a blind depth from Lucas. That's an awkward way to start things off, but maybe they've got time to go for it regardless. Auto is still on 30%. They can even wait a few seconds if they really wanted to get Runs closer as a spawner, but it doesn't let there's any waiting because Boulder is straight in.
Boulder's in trying to catch out Lucas, but instead gets destroyed by Thomas on the sniper there. Horn's dead as well. Inzo falling. That push is a complete collapse.
Something's got to change. Something absolutely has to change. These pushes, this must be so tilting now for MANDEM. They have had 4 attempts in towards Witness Gaming's last point, and Witness Gaming, they have just held on completely confidently every single time. And again, we are getting complete deja vu. The pressure comes out. What's going to happen now is Ron's going to bomb in and drop Auto again. What's going to happen?
Surely
Auto is going to go through the house this time instead. A bit more cover, a bit more shelter. Thomas the one with the head ripped off though this time from the sniper from Inzo. And that might maybe make them think twice about peeking this again, because Inzo very competent with the sniper rifle and peeking in again towards Auto, but decides the spam is there and decides, you know what, I'm going to back spawn, I'm going to chill, I'm going to wait for the Uber charge, because quietly, Upi has just built Uber in all this time.
Yeah, they're looking to try and fight this on mid at least, but look at the spam coming out. Such a dangerous choke point to try and push through on middle. Inso ends up paying for it with his life now damage. Just keeps coming across on this choke point. Lucas will not let them pass, and that is Pappy bombing in, forcing in the Uber. Mandem's HP is just nowhere to be found. They're sending everything and the kitchen sink, just barely getting Lucas, but the health bars, they're just not quite there, and Witness are just looking to capitalize off of this. Thomas smells blood in the water. Ixie as well in on a solo mission on 2 seconds, and he's collapsing onto these guys all on his own.
Ixie, there's no way you can't get through.
Oh
3 frags, 4 frags for Ixie. This guy is on an absolute tirade against Mandem. So many players on both maps, but in particular, we've seen some great ones here over on Metalworks, and Witness now, full Uber ad. They're going to punish Mandem. They're going to make it sting as they're getting buffed up. They're getting ready to push through. There is a Pyro, there is a Heavy, there is some semblance of a hole, but there's not an Uber charge for Upi because Thomas, Lucas, Auto, they're all straight in from the left-hand side. Kill onto Boulder, space behind the back of the point. Cap time shortly going to be coming through as Hugo gets one more frag, but actually it's only been 2 frags for 2 so far. Upi still safe behind this point for now. Some more cap time coming through. 2v2 Pappy with all things left to do as the point cap comes through, and Witness get their second round on the board. And honestly, that was kind of against the run of play.
Ixie just wills his team onto last there. My god. I've been singing a lot of praises about Lucas, but Ixie just destroys Mandem there on second. They're all kind of low, but Ixie just hits absolutely everything. Disgusting.
The pistol as well, like,
oh my god.
Oh god. But if there's one place where we've seen success coming, both on the previous round on this one, for Mandem, it has been in these mid-fights. We saw last time a great coordinated double bomb at catching out Auto. This time, will it be more of the same? Got Haunts already flying in very high, very aggressive. Pappy taken down. We've got Bronze bombing in onto Auto. Auto taking a whole lot of damage, but somehow living up back towards the pack in the house now. 5 players for 3. Witness Gaming get another point under their belt. And now Mandem again, they're cowering back. They're fearing they have to play passive on second in the shutter. As Witness, they march forward. They're going to get second for free.
Yeah, there's no contest here whatsoever, so Witness can just run in. They're going in through alley just to make sure. They're just going to get this cap up. It is Boulder. Just on the spy, checking no funny business, but at this point you're down 2 rounds. There's still 13 minutes left. There's still opportunity, right? But you're stuck on your own last. Now with the gun and the heavy up, it's Sacking coming in here. Lucas wants to go in as well. Not quite finding much. Instead, there's a level 1 and a heavy to hold off that push for now. No demo man for Witness here. I think they're really banking on Pappy and Thomas being able to hold this on their own. Their beam is just 100% on Thomas. Mandem might be looking to push this a bit. There's no demo man.
Yeah, and there's an Uber charge coming in. They really want to go for this in 2 rounds down. I kind of respect the idea. Now Boulder trying to cause as many flashes as possible, maybe catch some frags in this Uber. But if Thomas has anything to do with things, it might be a bit ill-advised. Thomas going straight in. Body blocks coming in though, in front of Upi. Get down, Mrs. President, as she's able to get out alive, and Auto, not so fortunate, has gone down himself. So despite a bit of a chaotic trade, it's still going to be second point being held onto for the moment by Witness, but Mandem with heal advantage are wanting to waltz this one in. Lucas trying to spam up towards point, but Boulder might be finding a good kill there onto him. No demo, surely this point comes through eventually.
Yeah, Witness, they're trying to play the game of attrition, but with no heals, you just can't hold on for long enough. It's just Mandem outlasting them there on second. Now Pappy playing around the corner there in house, wants to see if he can find some kind of angle on to Upi, but just barely unable to. Instead, now Upi, massive advantage here as well. 3 players still down, as Lucas is just spawning right now. Does get forward spawned, but we'll have to see, right? They're sat up on second. I'm not sure how much they'll realistically be able to hold here, as Mandem are pushing in through alley. They can send in a soldier to just take the space. Witness, no Uber for them, means that they can just back off the last 70%. They can stall this out for just a little bit longer. It's not the scariest thing ever for them. 90% already. They should have an Uber here for last as well. Sentry gun coming up. We're fine, I think. We're chilling. Taunt's failing, a bit of a bomb. Z goes in as well, runs. Actually 2 players now. We're sacking in, trying to get this medic kill. We're sacking in 4 for that man. Which is not really finding much of anything.
Yeah, thanks, Doc.
Yep. We just sit back, and both teams are even Uber, at least for now, right? It's even players coming across here. As that's just Hugo trying to sack in on through second, getting a return kill. But Witness, at the moment, still sitting a bit strong. Just sit back on second. No real need to push. They are still 2 rounds up. It's about 10 minutes to go here.
How is there still 10 minutes left in this game? This feels
It's
like it's been
crazy,
going on for... There's been so much going on. Like, Metalworks gets a bad rep with a slow map, but there has been so much crazy things going on. Constant action, constant back and forth, and MANDEM kind of wanting to stay that way, at least for now, as runs bombs in onto the second point, tries to be some distraction, but actually the real distraction is on the flank, where Pappy and Ixie have managed to get a whole load of space. Runs in a bit of trouble as well over towards the pack, over in Ali, finally taken down. And yes, there is a spy coming up from Boulder, who is going to try and get in onto Auto, but that is about it in terms of threat that they have now over on MANDEM to try and stop this midpoint from flipping over into the blue. And Witness are going to cap this out. I guess half an eye kept on Boulder now. See if there's going to be some big decloak, see if there's going to be a stab coming in. But look at all these players around, it's such a hard play to go for, but walks in and gets the stab, gets the double as well onto Thomas.
Oh my god.
Might be giving them the key back into this game.
That's a butter knife kill onto Thomas. When's the last time you've seen that in an official? Disgusting play from Boulder. It's actually so scary. On a map like Metalworks, you can cover so much ground so quickly with a spy play. If Witness just decide to push it a bit further, I don't know if Boulder has the legs to catch up to Auto, but another drop. That's 3 on 1 map here for Auto. Not having the best showing, but that's just Boulder with a beautiful play there. 2 frags, and they take that middle for free. Big Uber advantage here as well. You're going to have to see them. They need to roll this out to second, but look at Ixie. He's up on the heavy. In a forward spawn. Just looking to pounce on them when these guys come in.
The forward spawn medic actually makes a bit of a difference as well, because it means that they can get some build up, but actually no, it doesn't, because Auto deleted instantly. Pappy not long for this as well. The Uber charge, massive work done. And now they're going to have another advantage after this if they can keep Ubi alive. There is a heavy peeking out through Ixie.
Oh, no.
Actually gets 1 frag, and maybe this is getting a little bit awkward now for these last remaining 4 players of MANDEM. Thomas is going all the way behind. I'm not sure if you're aware of that one, but priority number 1 has to be to get in onto Ixie on this second point. And actually they decide, MANDEM, they're not really fancying it. Zam's in potentially trouble. Zam's going down in the house, and Witness, they just have a knack for just surviving in these situations. Despite losing their medic instantly, they're hanging on to the second point.
It's so smart from Thomas and Ixie there. Ixie could have come out on heavy while that point was being capped and tried to just do damage, but instead he waits until most of MANDEM think the coast is clear, pushing back, and that just allows Thomas to get in as well, and they just contest the 1 to 2 players. And if you're a singular scout, not with a medic, you cannot contest that heavy, who sits in the comfort of that forward spawn and holds on for absolutely free. Most of MANDEM has to come back for him, and it's just Witness using that advantage to hold on. Now Pappy is in through lower, finding 2 kills, runs into Haunt or falling, and somehow it's just Witness staying in this game. MANDEM outmaneuvered once again. It's not even Uber advantage for Witness, really. They just have a massive player advantage, and no one really on MANDEM can stay in on mid to contest this. It's Boulder who just has to settle for the solo here. And oh my god, hold, Auto.
Dicing with potential drop number 4, but knows the numbers all too well. And Upi Boulder trying to get out. Looks like Upi's made it to the safety of the house, but should be getting much further back. There's actually some aggression coming in potentially onto these last couple of players. Big bomb in from Pappy, going 1-for-1 trades all across the board for both of these teams now. But for MANDEM, they've got 6 minutes left. They've got to fight this. They've got to try and battle their way in onto this middle point. Haunt's going to try and bomb in potentially behind up onto enemy platform, but with backcaps going awry, this is potentially getting rather sketchy for both these teams.
Lucas just kind of trapped in the stairs. Their teammate's not quite there, but it's just Hugo forcing the hand of MANDEM to go back and deal with him, as he's not quite going to be able to bounce out. But this is 2 kills, so I think MANDEM should be fancying themselves a bit of a refight. Lucas not up to deny the space, and MANDEM now just walking in. Back onto middle we go. It's about 10% advantage here for Upi as well, but the high bombs come through. Thomas, once again, just playing at this flank, trying to stall for time, get Auto the supercharge to work with, get Lucas back in the game, who is doing so much damage, but Ixie shut down now on mid. Means that MANDEM will be taking this, but the pipes onto Boulder, shutting down the aggression there.
That was such an important frag. Upi was literally like milliseconds away from placing that right mouse button onto Boulder there. They were really wanting to run in, they were really want to catch players, and I think Auto was still at about 90%, so there could have been some players, I'm not saying Auto was going to die, but there was players that wouldn't have been getting a flash if an Ubered Boulder was going to come steaming in through the house, but that pipe cancels any dreams of that push coming through now. as we've had a pause. We've got MANDEM taking this middle point just about as the pause happened, but Witness look like they're regrouping pretty well in second. They've got 5 players there that I can count, and they're looking to hold this one up, potentially even push up with their player ad.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a bit of a player ad, right? And I think there is a world where you probably can push in, but it's a bit... I think you probably can hold, right? This is a scout up on high ground. Inso still could do a lot of work denying these soldiers. Pappy, not in position with his team either. I think it's going to take Witness a little while at least to try and get in, but it's just so scary, right? At this point, if you're MANDEM, you can't really afford to sit back either. You just kind of have to take every fight that you're given and try to come out on top. So this even Ubers, right, Ben? It's not the end of the world. We'll have to see when we unpause what actually ends up unfolding, because that pause is a bit later on. We've, you know, in classic French player on the server fashion, we have been eyeing a bit of chat from a couple people complaining about the server lag a bit. But I feel like at this point, this is kind of par for the course, right?
There's 6 minutes left. Just play it out, like, surely. Surely.
It's probably due to some player crashing. We'll have to wait and see what happens. So
we were casting that game the other day on it was actually on Metalworks as well, wasn't it? Where they swapped the server like after one round, they like paused and then decided, you know, we're just gonna start again and put like 25 minutes on the clock or something and rebuild the position with the setup. I'm not saying that's going to happen here because, you know, there's 6 minutes left. It might be just a player reconnecting. It could have been the round happened and they're going for a tactical timeout or whatever. But we can stop hypothesizing because the game is back alive. We've got players moving in the server and we've got Witness trying to take control of the valley to try and get some space up towards this point.
the spam's coming out. There's decent damage dealt. My heart is kind of broken at the moment, so I can't really see the health bars too well. But Lucas actually very good positioning. Actually, Upi down to about half HP as well. So just kind of manages to dodge for now. There's a lot of damage coming across. This is a very tense situation, but Hugo's the first one to fall here now. A bit of a collapse from Witness can come in because Rons is winning the 1v1. Gets the force onto Auto by himself. Lucas super low. They cannot fight that at all. And Ben, I'm going to give you the word while I reconnect to the server.
Well, we'll have to see because now we've been in this situation multiple times over. Uber advantage for MANDEM as they get ready to walk in. Horns bring the 1v1 there in the house. Is going to buy time for the rest of the team now. Boulder, Zams, Upi, they're taking second point. There's still advantage on the clock. There's still Pappy quite a way away from respawning. Gun, Sniper getting set up on last. I'd love to say this is a dead cert of a MANDEM round and they're going to go back. It's going to be 2-1 and that's where the pause was tactical timeout. But for now, it's going to be the Uber in. As now, can they make it the first one? They failed 4 times already. Boulder just going to stand on the point of this time and get so much cap time. Great flash coming in from Uber. This one looks a lot better, and it is better.
There we go. MANDEM finally converting on an Uber advantage there. Such a clean push. There's just not that much presence from Witness on the side. Oh, for the side of Witness, right? As they just kind of... There's no stickies on the point or anything. There's just so many MANDEM players just sitting on it. No heavy up either to block it. And that means that MANDEM just surge everyone onto the point. They get that round super fast. And now this is 4 minutes to play for. MANDEM not out of this yet. That was where the pause and unpause happened. 4 minutes to get another round and send us into Golden Cap territory. Potentially even a regulation time win should they get 2 fast ones. Back onto middle we go here. Early spam comes across onto Auto, actually dropping quite low. Pappy playing on the high ground for now. This soldier spam coming out of Rons, and with Zams as well, forces Witness back. They have no presence on mid. I think just purely off of spam, it is MANDEM taking the mid-fight victory. No one dies.
It's understandable though from Witness. They're taking so much damage. Like when you're a round up and there's so little time on the clock, it's one of those where if you see things might be about to spiral out of control, you just cut the losses instantly and say, look, we're happy to turtle on our second. We're happy to play the long game. There's only 3 minutes left to play. They're a round up and they are ready to just sit down, bunker down, batten down the hatches and try and survive this soldier play because Rons and Horns have had some decent offering so far in onto the second point and they might be going for some more of the same. We've had some fake ones from Rons, we've had some skips in from Horns, and this time it looks like Rons will be the first one to jump up and away and gets kind of deleted on the way around the corner.
Yeah, this just stickies from Lucas completing shutting down at that double bomb that you'd love to see coming in as he is just gonna get a bit of spam, taking room more than anything else, using that high bomb to just kind of force people to look at him. Horns fancies himself just a little bit, trying to go through house, but no pressure coming out. Instead, Hugo on the return there, and just kind of bounce into each other mid-air. Rons getting that frag. And that is, yeah, a bit unfortunate, but Happy finding a kill into Inso there and lower as well. We're trading kills.
That's a really important kill actually there onto Insu. If they like don't get that frag instantly, maybe the 6v5 could go out of control as now Upi just wants to walk in.
Oh
What's
no,
in the
Auto!
trade? It's not a trade, it's a theft! Auto, drop number 4, I believe, in the game. And surely MANDEM now, they are right back in this. 2-1 down, Uber advantage. Auto still not spawned in. Thomas a late death too. This has to be it. This is MANDEM's time to get revenge from season 45 when it all went wrong. They can battle through, they can maybe get a point on the board. And sure, they're back in the game. They've just got to convert this one last Uber ad push.
It's such a disaster for Witness. They don't have anything on last setup. It's just Boulder uncontested on the point, who just finally goes up dying. Now, all of the blue helpers are in the red.
They get it!
Inso just barely grabs onto that point. And now, Ben, there's a minute and a half, and the score is 2-2. This could end in regulation.
It absolutely could. It's incredibly unlikely, especially with the like added between rounds time. But like, it is possible. It's absolutely possible. I just think with Upi coming up with the crits as well. Yeah, they are properly going for this. They're going fast and loose for this one. I thought that was over. Honestly, I didn't think Inso was going to get. I know there was low players, but 3 players to find. Just sneaking the cap out is great work. And MANDEM, they've been good for 2 rounds, to be honest. Like they've been honestly having the better of the chances this game. It'd be abysmal if they didn't manage to get away with 1 point, but now with 50 seconds left, able to try and make a fight happen on this mid. Hugo bombing in very deep, taken down 1 for 1 so far on this mid, but runs coming back in. Maybe it is going to start turning a little bit this tide. There's only the scouts and the medic up now for the Witness team. Ixie, last one alive. Is this going to turn? Could this get messy? Still 5 up. 30 seconds. There is definitely time for this. It's just crits. Crits is the one problem that they have here.
They have this crit to just wipe Witness once again. They're all stacking onto this point as they're walking on to second now already. It's 20 seconds left, Ben, as they're getting this cap, but they have to keep going here. 18 seconds now left on the cap. Sticky's up on the point. No one is Ubered, so they will just die to this crit. As it comes out onto Zams, he finds early damage here onto Happy as well, but that is a Pyro reflecting across the dead. 8 seconds left as Crits has found nothing but a reflect heal onto Horns. So many players for Witness are up, and they just barely hold on. Take us to a golden cap.
That's so heart-wrenching for MANDEM. That is absolutely just obviously like Crits is like the right play for that mid, or at least it's like it's not quite. If you want like a fast win on the mid and you want to just go brawl and you don't think you're gonna have time for an Uber, Crits is definitely the play. But if Uppy's on stock Uber, she gets that stock Uber in time. And they have shiny players going into that last. And the crits into a Pyro, it's toothless. But oh my, Witness, they've really made MANDEM work all this entire game. Every time we think MANDEM are going to push it over and they're going to make it, Witness turtle up, they manage to just dig in and hang on. And they do it once more. I was calling the game off at 1 minute 20. Last round starting, I'm thinking, oh, there's probably not much time, it's not going good. But players start dropping on that mid, and it's like, it might happen. But no, eventually the crits comes through, doesn't manage to get anything, and we go to golden cap.
So close there. In the end, I think it's just saying on the mid, it was just Sam's kind of outperforming Lucas there on that singular mid, right? Getting that early kill onto the demo. Such a good start for them. No damage for Witness, they just couldn't stay in. Now, okay, Witness have been better on the mids than they were on on Gullywash rather, right? But it still hasn't been super dominant for them. I think most of the time we're kind of seeing these mids seesaw a bit back and forth. I'm so curious to see what happens on this Golden Cap mid, because Auto did not go for that crits at all. And I don't know if Auto's much of a crits enjoyer, to be completely honest. I think that's more of a Piggles thing.
Yeah, maybe that's reserved for Golden Mid. Maybe we see it. Maybe we see it come out then. But in all my time watching like Golden Caps, honestly, like I've seen this game just more slow down rather than speed up most of the time. Like, you know, teams are sort of scared to make that last mistake. They know that their next mistake could be their last one. But we can think about what's going to happen. We've got some logs on screen if you want to think about those. I mean, I'm honestly like, I'm too pumped to be thinking about logs at this moment. To be honest, I just want Golden Cap to start. I wanna get flying, and this has been such a hype game so far. Some great performances, honestly, from so many players across both these teams on this server. Like you highlighted Ixie this game. We've had some great players from the Soldiers and Rons and the Horns. Zams as well, clutching up the pipe drop as well from Zams. Like there's been some fantastic showings. but there's Golden Cap still to play. There's still a point left to find. Their work is not done. Their work, some say, might just be starting now. Golden Cap is a go. One final round. I believe they've got the wrong config, but we don't care. We're going live anyway.
Yeah, this is supposed to be 10 minutes only, and then going into a golden mid-fight. Instead, they've just set it to 30 minutes on the map timer. They'll realize that eventually, surely. So we are going live. One final little mid there, and it is Lucas arriving quite early. The damage there onto Zams, who this time around is getting completely shut down there. Pappy as well, doing his best to shut down this demo man. So I do believe it's just both sides sitting back, at least for now. No one willing to make the first move. Ont and Hugo both playing in house. The bomb not quite coming in. Instead, it's Pappy going in early. Just trying to take a little bit of spam. Ron's hearing that move as well, but it's an early kill there onto Ron's. It's just Lucas finding that sneaky kill now. It's MANDEM forced to aggress a little bit. They're not finding any plays. Instead, it's Pappy in on a house, just inso walking across without the rest of his team. Now that is Witness taking a mid fight. Only 2 frags, but they're going to be looking to pressure this even further.
And why not as well? These spawners are still a few more seconds away. Down one scout in particular, even more dangerous. Thomas trading out for Haunts there is maybe something that might slow things down. It might even speed them up because Lucas and Hugo, they are straight in and they are straight in. Hunter, Zams, Demoman down means this hold is just non-existent by this point. They're going to have a soldier coming back in. Ron's trying to get a frag onto Hugo, but actually look at this. There's only 2 players left alive on last.
They're just going to go for the force here. Witness don't even need to take this round. They're going to just go for the trade here in lobby because there's just no other option, right? The Uber's popped in here. Lucas almost dies, but that's just a player. Hugo is in on last, uncontested. They just barely kill him. And now look at Witness, right? They're going to heal up. They have a massive advantage to work with. The point is almost capped. If you are MANDEM, you are so terrified here, right? Everything on the point because Witness can capture this in 2 seconds. Uber coming in already. That is a gun being built in front of your face. The Pyro not quite there either. It is Ron's so low. Gets dropped down as well. Everyone just falls on the side here of MANDEM, who just barely don't manage to hold on. Boulder does not win versus the world as Hugo with the escape plan kill takes it in overtime. That is Witness walking away with 5 points. Not 6 as they would have wanted, but MANDEM, they made them work for that.
Yeah, I did think Boulder had a chance there at the end. There was a lot of low HP players there, already got 2, but it's a tall ask. It's almost unholdable there. As soon as that force comes out with all that cap time, we've seen some heroics from MANDEM so far this game. That was a bridge too far. But I don't know, it feels very weird to come out of this game, at least from my end, and think, okay, Witness taking 5-1 overall, but on this Metalworks map, I think MANDEM were the better team. Honestly, like I think MANDEM for the most part. Obviously, we saw like the well-drilled nature of Witness coming through good at the end. Like when they're squeezing out these like tiny one-player advantages, these tiny health advantages, even sometimes they are so good at that. But we saw so many players step up from MANDEM at so many crucial moments, and particularly in those plays around the second point. Like Otto was never safe around second. Lucas was getting caught too. The focus was fantastic, but they're against Witness. Witness don't just lose. Like they somehow find a way to stay in these games and squeeze out every last point that they can. And here's another example of it.
I mean, yeah, it must be a bit of a hollow feeling there for MANDEM because I think I agree with you. They did at least match with Witness in terms of just like the pure macro gameplay, right? And they also, but here's the thing, right? I mean, they got 4 medic drops on that map, and they still didn't manage to convert.
And also, like I think they had even more full Uber at last push attempts as well. Like across that, like those drops were on seconds. Some of them converted into last pushes. There was others where they had the ad anyway, coming into last and didn't make it work. And I'm not counting the crits one in that. Obviously, crits is a little bit different, but like on another day, this could have been a very different scoreline on both these maps, to be quite honest, because Gullywash was the same story, maybe a bit more balanced in terms of the chances for either team, but MANDEM, they've had a lot of opportunities across these 2 maps.
Yeah, it's just I don't know how to feel, to be honest. It's so close, right? It makes you wonder what happens in the future, I think. This is a season where there's a part of my European patriotism that wants and wants a very dominant Witness victory, but I also like just the parity at the top level of Prem right now is so good. And I think maybe like there's a silver lining in the sense that if there's really good competition, and it's not like at least in my opinion, it's good TF2 that we're watching, right? Like I don't think these guys are playing bad. It's different if
Oh
sort
no,
of the
exactly.
TF2 is not that high level, but this is it doesn't feel like, at least to me when I'm watching this, it's not Witness necessarily playing like playing bad TF2 and sort of playing down to the level of MANDEM. It's really more so MANDEM playing up to the level of Witness, just not quite able to convert on a few of those last pushes.
This is why I'm so excited coming into 2025, right? We've got like the sort of the surge of these lands, obviously Poland's coming up. There's this Prem season where there's the return of Witness, and it does feel like you say, like everyone is elevating their level. Like even the teams in the middle of the pack this season all seem to just there's a new drive that's come into European TF2, and it's fantastic to see. And like MANDEM have stepped up. Even I know we've said roster moves. It's a toss up whether you think it was upgrades, side grades, downgrades, whatever. Like they have stepped up. This quality and drilling of a performance was great from them, and we've seen it again from so many of the teams in the div. It's an exciting time for European TF2.
Yeah, so far so good. Witness are kind of, you look at their season, right? They were sort of front loading the the sort of top teams in Prem, right? So I am currently attempting to drag a Haunt in for a bit of an interview, but Discord is being annoying, so it's taking me a bit of time. So I need to make my Discord full screen if I can drag him all the way down. It's also not letting me scroll while I drag. Well, while I figure this out for a second, I think, yeah, it's very exciting. There we go. I've successfully managed to drag a Haunt into Discord. And Animation's here as well. Let's all unmute.
Let's hop into Discord. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Hello, hello, Haunts. How we doing?
We're doing fine.
How do you feel about that game? You must be commiserations for not winning, because that was really, really close. What are your sort of, how are we feeling after that?
I don't know. We're just mixed feelings because I thought we could win, but they kind of surprised us with a few things. But it's only main season. I think we're fine.
How do you feel sort of, how do you deal with sort of a game like that, right? Where it feels like, at least from us watching it from the outside, it feels like you guys had kind of plenty of opportunities to really convert. What do you think kind of went wrong? 'Cause you had so many, you had a lot of failed full Uber ad last pushes,
Yeah,
right? What do you think?
yeah.
What went wrong?
And it's just they were just. I think they were cutting us by surprise. It's we didn't play them much this season, so we're like, obviously they're very good players. So like, there's a lot that like they used to playing against top players because we haven't played much this season. But yeah, they just caught us by surprise with olds and players where we didn't expect them to be. But yeah, that's basically it.
So how are you feeling about the season so far, Hans? How are we doing overall?
I mean, it's going fine, I guess. I mean, it's going fine for us. I mean, it's close between everyone. I think everyone can literally get playoffs. Literally, every team right now can get playoffs, or can just steal points off of each other. Even the fucking last. Oh, sorry for swearing. Or even the last place team can steal some points.
How are we feeling about your chances? What do you think is going to end up happening in Prem? Actually, going sort of through the rest of it. You've been through a few of the top teams. You've got a couple left to go. I think you both to play
Yeah.
against Forfence still, but besides that, you kind of played against the rest of the top end of Prem. So anyone in particular you're sort of watching out for besides Witness?
Maybe Ams. The Ams team. Ams team is very good. I fear Ams when he's on a good day, but he can also have bad days. So we're just hoping that we get him in a bad day. He just catches every rock and he just dies.
Yeah, I've got an interesting one like it. So obviously this game you had some great chances. You took a point off Witness. Arguably could have maybe some say should have been more. What does that do for your confidence that looking forward the rest of the season, right? You've fought the team who was so dominant many like a couple of years ago. They've been winning everything. Does that sort of boost your confidence, or does the sort of what happened in the second map with these failed attempts does that maybe knock your confidence a bit? Which way does it slide for you? Do you think?
We just lift our head. I think we learned a lot from that first season where we like won against everyone, where just main season doesn't really count. You just need to get 4th place, and then you're in playoffs, and then you focus on playoffs, and there's like a new motivation. I think we learned a lot from that. So I think after this game, we're just review what we have to review, fix our mistakes, and just prepare for the next offie, and then prepare for playoffs. Because I don't know, but I think if we win like 2 more offies, I think we probably can get playoffs. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, you're up near the top, aren't you? You won like your first 2 games, so like you're
Yeah,
still probably definitely like 3rd or something after this week, and you've had hard
yeah,
fixtures, so it's looking pretty good for you guys.
yeah. I mean, our focus is our goal is just to get playoffs. That's it. Especially in a season like this where everyone is very good. We gotta focus very hard against the top teams and just make sure we get all the points that we need, and just make playoffs, and then it's a new game in playoffs, I think.
How are you feeling? Because I just realized we've got a LAN coming up in like a month, Haunts. How are you
Yeah,
feeling about that?
feeling excited to meet my friends finally, meet my online friends.
Hell yeah. Is there
And
anyone?
also,
Is there any teams that you're sort of particularly scared of, maybe going into a LAN versus online, or do you think everyone kind of stack up the same a bit?
I don't know. I think people should be scared of us. Not gonna lie, because we have players with huge DM, and players with huge DM on LAN, they're very powerful. Maybe I want to say Witness, but I think Witness will be more of the same at LAN than and in online. So maybe Anti-Side, because Anti-Side also has very good DM players, heavy DM players, and they're a new team as well. So they'll develop like the chemistry even more when they reach LAN. So I think Anti-Side is a team to look out for.
I think I agree. I really like the anti-side team. I've been watching them. I've been paying attention. These guys are very good. I think I have one
They're
last
not that
question
good.
for you, Haunts. Is so you've been playing for a few seasons now with Mr. Fancy Elf Bill, and
Yeah.
featuring prominently in the chat. How's it feel to sort of now you're playing with Sam's this season? What's it like playing with a different demo man? Have you been adapting?
Uh, I mean, yeah, it's finally playing with a demo man that does his job and just not goes fucking wander around, just kill 7 people, comes back with full HP. It's good in a way, but bad in a way. Because Fancy, he can kill everyone in the server and live with full HP. But in the end of the day, he kind of has to do his job. He's playing an important role. But uh, now we have Zams. Also, very good DM. People are like not respecting Zams. Zams is like crazy good. People don't respect him enough because even though we lost Fancy, we got like heavy DM demo as well. I don't know.
All right. It's good to see. I'm excited to see where you guys go from here. That was a very good game. It feels like Prem right now, as you said. Very high parity. I think if you guys are watching Witness now and play against the top of Prem and you're thinking, I wonder how these guys would do if they went across the pond over to America. I saw Banny featured in chat earlier as well. If you want to see Witness, let's put it politely, destroy Banny like 5050, you guys should go check out the Witness fundraiser because they are looking for a little bit of financial help just to get across, take it to the Americans, take it to the Australians over in Denmark in May. I think that is the ultimate goal for them as a team. But I think for now, unless, yeah, Horns, you get another little final word, any shout outs you got?
Uh, Shout out Lardox. He's been helping a lot, even though his shoulder is broken. Yeah, he's been helping r- runs and stuff. Yeah, shout out Lardox. I'm not shout outing Fancy. I hate that guy.
What about you,
Yeah,
Ben?
great to hear from your Haunts, and yeah, great to hear great to have some interviews back as well. Great to hear what the players have to think, and yeah, speedy recovery. Lardox from that sounds sounds a bit brutal, but yeah, well
Yeah.
played to both these teams, and yeah, well played Haunts in that game, and good luck for the rest of the season. But we'll be back later on this week. Believe we've got plenty of games coming up on
Yep.
Thursday. At least one of those
Thursday.
is getting casted on Essentials, so do be back on Thursday. There's more Prem games coming up, but for now, it's been a long one. We'll see you all later.